Hello, Jamie from Inky&Scrappy, back with my Craft Roulette challenge number 230 creation. So a shaped shaker card. This week, if you watch Craft Roulette and you kind of know what's going on here, if you don't watch Craft Roulette, go check it out. It's on Friday nights on the Craft Roulette channel. Mary Gunn has a whole lot of fun with a guest, and they spin the wheel for 4 parameters, and then you have to make a creation with those 4 parameters. I haven't been great about doing it during the show, so maybe I'll get better once everything slows down here and create along with it. So I did die cut out my shaped card. That was the first parameter for this challenge, was a shaped card. So I'm using Summertime Sips by Trinity stamps, and I cut out a piece of holographic paper with the shaker insert. I don't know if it's well, I think it's the shaker insert. So you have make yourself a cup, right? And then took that out and then die cut a piece of plain acetate. And then of course I did my card base as well. So I'm gonna add the top and bottom on with some score tape, but I cheated and just used some liquid adhesive for the sides. Gonna set that underneath a acrylic block and let that dry. Well, I'm letting it dry, I'm bringing in some ground espresso distressing, and I'm just going to take the ink pad straight to my card front here. I probably should have cut a second piece of white paper for my card front. It would have gone all the way up to the top that way, but you know, I was trying to cheat a little bit and go a little faster, and so I opted to go this way. I don't think it saved me time. It probably caused me a little bit of a headache later on. But, you know, I made it work. I'm also going to bring in some Windsor and Newton Iridescent watercolor medium and then add a little bit of water to my dried out tub there and splatter that background, because, you know, you can't have a tall iced Americano without ice. Just saying. So I needed the sparkles. So the second one for this week was Peacock. So I started with the iridescence because I always think of iridescence on the peacock feathers, as well as blues and greens, which I will get into in a little bit. And then for this one, to make it a shaker, I'm bringing in some 1/8 inch wide foam adhesive strips here. I'm just going to add those onto the sides and, of course, the top and the bottom. And then making sure that I pop up the top a little bit more and the bottom a little bit more, because I want to make sure that they're going to, you know, it's the card front, so I want them to stay stuck down. Usually, I remove all of the adhesive before I add the shaker bits. Why do I do that? Because I'm not very great at taking off all of the little backings without bumping things and having everything going everywhere. So I did hold it down fairly good. I didn't have too many issues peeling stuff up and off. I didn't overfill the shaker because I wasn't too worried about it. My shaker mix there is a custom made blend by Moi. It's just got some brown sequins, different colors of brown sequins in it, and then I did some custom colored brown glitter, so rock candy glitter and alcohol ink to kind of give me a nice, I don't know, coffee colored glitter. And then of course seed beads to help make everything move around. So once I was done with that, I am going to bring in one of my next elements. So the third element was of course tall, so I decided my coffee was obviously going to be a tall, because that's what I order, is a tall iced Americano when I order coffee. So that was my towel. When I say you can kind of wiggle the parameters a little bit, that's what I mean. Anyways, the fourth parameter is X's and O's. The fourth parameter is always random, so you never know what you're going to get. This week happened to be X's and O's. And so I remembered that I had X's and O's in a little bottle that I got from the dollar spot in Target a couple of Valentine's Days ago. So for this one, I'm bringing in some, I want to call it waxy flax. That's what it used to be called in close to my heartland. This I picked up at, it was on clearance at Hobby Lobby, so I think it was like $2 or something like that. It was stupid cheap. So I was like, ooh, I liked the color. Of course I liked the color. It was like that turquoisey, tealy, you know, pretty teal color. Anyways, so I picked that one up, and then of course they also had, I have beads galore. So I picked up some beads, and of course these ones were kind of that same color tone. I ended up going with the little bit bigger ones because I couldn't get that little one to fit 2 strands through it. Now my hope was, and maybe if I'd have kept the little one and wiggled it through, or you know, got a needle and kind of got it to go through, I probably could have used it as like a, I don't know, is it called like a pressure clasp where it's gonna stick because it's just that tight. Anyways, I ended up going with the not quite so tight one because yeah, it was kicking my kotokus. So I got that on, added my ends on the other side, and then I'm going to wrap that kind of around the top. And then of course I know that I'm going to have to probably move those up, kind of looking visually how that's going to look. So I opted to keep my stamped image fairly simple and just brought in this little bear that's holding a tall coffee from MFT. I think it's SY's Happy Pumpkin Season stamp set. It's the one that has the tractor. You know that's why I bought it, right? Because it has the little tractor. Anyway, so I colored that one fairly simply. I brought in some, this one I think is leather from the Ohuhu Honolulu line, so the brush and bullet, well, I picked the B ones, and then a lighter cream color just to kind of do the snout and then the inside of the ears there. I'm coming back in with that darker tone and adding a little bit more dark where I want it to be darker. So and then of course bringing in that stamped image. I'm not actually re-stamping it. I'm just kind of guiding my pen where it's supposed to go, you know, because that crunchy, I stamped it in Crunchy Leaf from Fawn, and so I couldn't really see once the brown was through. So there are my greens, a peacock blue, a peacock green, and I want to say it was processed blue, but don't quote me on the last blue. I think it's that one. I don't know if that one is BP4. There you go. That was the other color. I can't read that fast. Anyways, so I kind of did some stippling on my sweatshirt. I wanted it to kind of look comfy and cozy. And then, of course, bringing in that black glossy, I think it's a glaze, black glaze gel pen for the cup top there to match my cup that it's going on top of. I also cut out another top for the backside of my coffee mug. And then I'm going to bring in the Copy, Create, and Repeat stamp set from Trinity Stamps. And I'm just going to stamp that on a coordinating piece of cardstock. I did it twice just because I didn't, it was pretty close on both sides. I, you know, was like, well, we're going to make it work. So I'm bringing in this label die set from, I think it's a Sizzix Tim Holtz one. It's just called Labels. And I found one that worked fairly good. And then I'm just going to do, I left enough room on top so I could do a eyelet. I know, an eyelet. I've been like loving eyelets lately. I don't know why. I think it's just, I love the finished look for tag by putting an eyelet on it. I thought about adding it to my top part there. And I was like, I opted not to. I was thinking, you know, I have other options available to me. So I tied up my strings here, cut those off so they're not quite so long. And then I'm going to bring in this, it's like a, I don't know, kind of like, I want to say an old time safety pin, but it's really not. It's a safety pin that has a ball on it. This one happened to have a brad on the top of it. And I think if I would have left the brad instead of cutting the brad off of it, I probably could have, you know, wiggled it onto my cord there a little bit and maybe made it stick a little bit better. I don't know. Anyways, my cord was still moving around. I, you know, ended up bringing in this little mini coffee stamp set from MFT Stamps. And I'm just going to cover my cord up on the top here to try to help hold it in place. So you'll see that I put it on this little stamp on upside down. That's because when you open the card, it will be right side up. So this I kind of just wiggled it a little bit, and it still wasn't staying. So I did end up just tying a second knot in here and kind of hiding the knot on the back side of the bead. I was trying, I tried to glue it. It just wasn't holding. So probably because it's waxy flax. Anyways. To finish it off, I'm going to add in my little critter on the corner here. I just thought he looked kind of cute holding it. And of course, I need some more shimmer and shine because, hello, we're trying to mimic Peacock and, shimmery and shiny. Iridescence. Gotta love it. So, I have everything on the front of my card to, hit all 4 parameters. I am content. So, of course, I need to bring in, I lost it. It's inevitable. I also couldn't pull up that last piece of backing there. So, I pull up all of my backing, add some glue. I probably shouldn't have added the glue onto the bottom. I probably should have cut this one off just a teeny tiny little bit. That's why I said it probably gave me more headaches than not. It did slide up a little bit when I opened it up, but you don't notice it. Just has a little bit more depth and dimension in there. It's not, it was what it was. Yeah. So all that's left at this point is to stamp my inside sentiment. So I'm bringing in the iced coffee stamp set from Ink Road Stamps. And of course, I had to go a little bit snarky. Not too bad though. Safety first. Just kidding. Coffee first. Safety's at least 3rd or 4th. Just, being honest. And then to finish up the inside after, I use my sand eraser to erase my finger inky smudges. That thing saves me more insides than, and even card fronts sometimes than I'd like to admit. So bringing in that crunchy leaf ink again from Fawn. I'm just inking up my image that I used on the front, and I'm just going to stamp him on the inside. It's kind of fun to bring the outside image onto the inside, and it's, you don't have to color it, just the image is kind of nice. So there is my finished creation for you today, and of course the inside as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Go check out Craft Roulette, and I hope you can get some creative juices going too. Bye!